Welcome back. Team SoloMid taking on Denial. Denial, 2 wins needed to keep their hope alive that another set goes how they want it.
And honestly, if this doesn't happen the way that Denial's hoping it happens, I see this roster going into the wood chipper. Right? They lost Xing. They've had a lot of troubles like keeping themselves afloat. They went from 4th seed in second split to 7th North America.
This was before we headed in, right? When it was only 4 teams that were qualifying for regionals before the super regionals became a thing, and it's been since extended to 8. Denial was the team that's like, all right, who is taking 4th seed? Is it going to be Eager or is it going to be Denial? And Denial have dropped below Enemy and Cognitive Gaming in a very surprising fashion.
It's been kind of rough for them. Xing had a rather poor performance. Actually, Xing himself had a good performance, but his team had a poor performance at the Xbox LAN as well. He's having a hard time this season. But Shadowq and the boys have one chance to make LAN. And if they don't win both games and Cognitive doesn't lose both games, their LAN chances are dead, and their dream of worlds goes with it.
We're going to take a quick look at Denial, spearheaded by Shadowq in that support role here. Sikandara, though, the most recent addition to the squad after Xing did leave the team or was removed here. For me, though, I'm really looking at BronxBombers. I think when Denial has good games, it really seems to be Bronx going off against the other Hunter, I would say.
And you know what's the worst part is even when Bronx does have good games, they still sometimes lose.
Yes.
Like the first time we saw him play with the 16-4, that was him, right?
Yeah, he was on a different team, though.
Still.
But yeah, it's the same style where it's a bottom-ended team that even when he goes off, they can't seem to close it out.
And they're going to have a hard trip because not only do they have to win 2 games, but they have to do it against the former North American first seed team SoloMid.
bchm, the most recent addition to this squad, replacing Divios in the solo in a very surprising turn of events. But so far, he has had very respectable games. I was a little bit worried about his god pool, but he has since expanded that from the Sobek was the only thing we saw here. Snoopy and Eonic made quick trips to other roles, although have since moved back into the mid lane, or excuse me, not the mid lane, the duo lane.
Yep. bchm, like you said, he newest to the roster. Has had a decent god pool, has shown that he can play at the level, or at least close to the level of Divios. The chemistry seems better, but he doesn't quite have that same, I'm in your face, I can take on your whole team while taunting you and make you hate Smite, right? That's something that has been exclusive to Divios and Omega.
It's kind of like that in your head. And Divios used to never do that, right? That was all taught to him by Omega, in a sense.
Yeah,
Omega
kinda
has always been the guy that's like, I'm taunting in your fountain. I'm pulling the Zashu that we saw that London Conspiracy did earlier on. The race to 3 million player damage, though, Macetodaface going to have the first shot at having 3 million damage here. It looks like he's got about 74,000 to go, a little bit under.
That's actually that's actually really close. He could do it before VDM tomorrow.
Yeah, bchm is very close, but Mace is going to need some pretty big games here. Probably going to need them to go pretty long. He's looking at, realistically 35,000 damage plus in each game.
Yeah, he needs, I think, about 37, a little less than 37 per game.
That's going to be close.
I can see Mace doing that.
I don't see Salt Machine or Cyclone having a shot, but
there's no way they're going to
both of these players could realistically make 3 million. Game 1, though, Denial. They need a win here. They need 2 wins in a row, and they're going to be first pick, wasting no time taking away Boosh's Giannis.
Yeah, I don't think that that's too bad of an idea. Taking shots at Boosh is probably their best call. Maybe even getting rid of Agni as well. That has been Boosh's favorite by far.
But to spend 2 bans on mid, is that really worth it, even if it's to shut down the Boosh?
I mean, if you're going to let something powerful through, you might as well let 2 things that are powerful through. Granted, Giannis is definitely a ban-worthy character.
Hell taken out by Team SoloMid. Really don't want that, I'd say, team fight snowballer to come online for Denial. We know Mace really likes to run it.
Circuit, no surprise there. Healing reduction, a ton of damage, impossible to kill. Likely to be Wukong as well.
So we haven't seen Khepri all day in picks or bans. Why is he really falling off?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, damage reduction. This to me is just like Season 1 Smite when no one was playing Janus. No one's playing Khepri now because they think maybe the ultimate is blank, right? The fact of the matter is the character's insane. His 2 is absurd. I mean, damage reduction's the best stat in the game.
First pick, though, coming out, got to be Thor with Wukong available.
Yeah.
So putting a lot of respect, we do see some teams really kind of go, I want to say it's off meta to first pick Thor, but we see teams try and pick a team comp based around it.
I definitely agree with the Hou Yi pick. It's still my favorite hunter, and Snoopy is one of the people I look to the most for this character, who I feel really understands him the best. So it's cool to see that locked in. Sun Wukong, I imagine, wow, keeps it through. NA not favoring him as much today as Athena gets locked in.
I'm pretty sure Team SoloMid is honestly looking for the solo back. That's what they seem to always do. And you said it earlier today when we casted Europe, is that Magic is so effective against Sun Wukong. The itemization is not there. He can't build into Mystical Mail unless he's so far ahead. And if he does build into it, he almost gets locked down. Denial are actually going to be grabbing Sobek. And this could also be a Shadowq thing, right? Denial could honestly go into a Wukong here as well.
See, I like the Sobek without the Wukong being picked here, because when they go back into the pick phase, Team SoloMid's not going to know exactly what to pick. If they pick Wukong here, they're like, okay, is it going to be Sobek solo? Is it Bellona? How am I going to build? Like, should we change our team comp? While Wukong is a very safe pick, he's not always the best. It's going to be Xing Chen.
Bans coming through for Team SoloMid here. They could target out a mid laner, although they still need their own mid laner. It's not that bad of an idea, though, to ban a mid laner here, considering that they will get the first pick in the second phase of the draft, so they can ban out someone they don't want to deal with and then take their priority mid laner.
I'm wondering what they're going to ban. It's going to be Isis.
So they're going to look for their priority mid laner. This right now is screaming.
Agni.
Well, maybe not screaming Agni.
To me, it's screaming Agni. Isis, Jan is taken off the table. There are obviously still other great mages, but I mean, Boosh's most played god this split by far has been Agni. It's like 9, what was it, like 11
It's most
games?
of them.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And now he's almost guaranteed to pick an Agni here. Poseidon, really his other mid lane god that he would traditionally go to. Also would have been very effective against the Sobek Thor, crippling out some of their priority moves here. The question is, will Team SoloMid draft the Agni here? Because if not, we could see it go the other way, although Nox is available.
Okay, Zhong. We forgot about Zhong.
No, you forgot about Zhong.
You forgot.
I forgot about Zhong.
Yeah, you did. Zhong Kui recently getting buffed. Massive health buffs, making him extremely tanky and very hard to deal with, not only in laning phase, but during teamfight phase as well. One of the highest damaging characters in the game, and actually was Mace to the Face's premier god for quite some time.
He was probably the first, I believe he was actually the first one to play competitively. I'd say Stealth became known for it.
Yeah.
But he played it, I believe it was at Siege or like a charity tournament when it was Denial versus the then North American team Dignitas.
Yep.
He was the first one to bring it out in that tournament when everyone thought Zhong was bad at the time. Medusa going to be locked in for BronxBombers, and it will be the Agni going to Mace to the Face to match up against that Zhong Kui.
Now, it could have been a Zhong Kui in the solo lane. It was possible, but obviously with them still needing another frontliner, it's probably not going to happen. TSM has one more pick here. Now, with Sobek off the table and Wukong still available, I have to imagine they pick him.
It would be Athena jungle then? I mean, they have Xing Ten locked in as well.
Oh, that's true.
Fenrir.
So they have a very ambiguous team comp.
That Fenrir, more than likely, going to DaGarz. When it's picked up, it almost exclusively goes to him.
And he is an amazing fan.
I also do not see him jungling Athena or Xing Ten. Like, in no way in my mind can I ever see Garz jungling them. I don't think he ever has jungled an Athena. I actually want to know if that's a true stat.
He plays almost only assassins.
I mean,
it's
that's
always
just his
been
playstyle.
Yeah,
he's so good at them.
Sirket Thor has been his. He likes mobility more than anything.
He's brought out Collies as well occasionally.
Yeah, well, high mobility.
Denial grouped up here in the mid lane. He looked like they were either trying to find someone to pick or warding together as a team. Could have been both. If someone gets out of position, you can pluck them with that Sobek. But for now, Team SoloMid going to be playing defensive. Snoopy going to be in the dual lane with Eonic, running Hou Yi and Athena. Boosh in the mid on Zhong Kui. DaGarz in the jungle on Fenrir, and bchm going to be running the solo Xing Ten.
I like this comp, honestly. There's a lot of control. There's still a ton of damage, and they can rely on Snoopy to do what Snoopy does best, and that's hit every single shot that's put in front of him.
Yeah, just think of his ROM snipes. What if if he can bank shots like he hits ROM snipes, who's going to stop him?
We're going to be in for quite a game.
Who is going to stop him?
Yeah. Over on the left side, it's going to be, we're going to see support Sobek, which is pretty normal.
Yes.
We have Whalrus playing that Bellona in the solo lane with Sikandara in the jungle as Thor. Mace taking that Agni straight to the mid lane, and then BronxBombers on Medusa. Now, there is a small possibility of setup for Medusa here, but honestly, they were probably should have been looking for the Athena Medusa if they were going to draft this. Good pull.
Looks like Shadowq and Bronx just going to be doing a standard start. No shenanigans early on here. For me, though, a lot of this matchup is going to come down to the solo lane, really. I don't think we're going to see kills in either lane or in that lane, but it's what's going to be more effective in team fights, the Xing 10 or the Bellona. We know bchm has been very known for rotating since he came onto this squad.
Yes, that's true. Much more than Divios, who loves to camp the solo lane. Right. So, diving back a bit there. Oh, mid camps on right are getting contested. Neither team willing to commit.
Doesn't look like that's a little bit surprising. A lot of times you'll see whichever team had the early mid lane control secures the camps, but they both actually secured those at the same time. Sikandara could be in trouble here, taking a decent amount of poke, but DaGarz doesn't want to overcommit. He would have taken a lot of damage from archers, so smart choice from him.
I don't know, man. I think he could have taken it. I think he had that there. Oh, diving in. Snoopy getting very aggressive.
No pluck from Shadowq. He actually could look for the tower
Does
here.
Shadowq not have
Can we
charge
actually
prey?
highlight Shadowq real quick?
Oh,
no.
That's definitely a miss.
Honestly, I wonder if Snoopy recognized that too.
Yeah,
I wonder if Snoopy knew the damage from the Sobek 3 at level 2.
I mean, that's what you should know at this point. That's the stage TSM is at. We shouldn't ever be surprised by a pro player being able to recognize how much damage something did and being able to recognize what they've leveled. This is the kind of things that a player that is almost making like a yearly salary during a split should be understanding. And shout outs to Snoopy for leading the charge on that one.
Shadowq in a little bit of trouble. They still recognize he has no dash, and he's going to take a little bit of poke there. Another thing, too, also, is they could have just seen Sobek heal up, right? And maybe his heal was more efficient once he ranked that up. There's so many possibilities, and Snoopy, if there was a player to do that, he'd be the one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be like him. I would definitely look at Weekend in North America.
I would say as well.
Zatman for all Hunter-related things,
And
absolutely. Andy. Across the way in Europe, Raffer. Everyone on Titan.
All of it. I'd say almost all of Epsilon, outside of maybe Emilito. I feel like he's just trying to fight people all the time.
Yeah, Emilito has no idea how to, what he's doing.
He's just like so good at killing people.
Speaking of killing people! Whoa.
First blood going to Shadowq. He had his pluck there, and that was a real nice combo. A very quick combo. Eonic caught off guard, I think, by the burst potential.
And great use of Lacerate to lock him down before he was able to get back behind his archer.
That was like realistically the key. You could see the dash charged up, not able to get it off in time.
Nice disarm to be able to stop him from moving forward. bchm still standing healthy. Whalrus has control over the lane, though. Now, going into this, you know, I think I'm the solo lane player between the two of us, but I want to know what you think. Like, who do you think is going to take this lane?
As far as control, I have to give it to Bellona for the most part. I just don't see a lot of kill potential coming out from bchm. He's probably going to be struggling to clear the wave for a little bit, whereas Whalrus should be able to control it early on.
But for me, as long as the Eagles rally doesn't get the kill, if she Eagles rallies into him, he can immediately counter by activating the Whirlwind, and the Whirlwind will just drag her back into the tower.
It's like a battle of the ultimates, right? Who's going to time it first? And I would say neither of these guys are really trying to kill each other, if anything. So did you see what Whalrus did, though, when DaGarz came to lane? DaGarz actually, based on its player model, was looking to the side to try and get around the corner, but his head actually poked out into lane, and Whalrus saw it and backed off.
1-0. The first blood going to Denial, keeping their dreams up so far.
About a K in the lead, too.
Yeah, they've done well with that farm. A lot of that, I assume, is between the supports. Actually, no, only about 400, strangely enough.
Look at this, though. Big rotation coming out from Denial. Going to be stealing away this buff. And, I mean, this is just a four-man invade that Team SoloMid they're responding to. And here they are. There's a lot of people grouped up from Denial. Shadowq trying to play Peel. And it looks like TSM's a little bit wary of full committing to this one. Shadowq going to pluck bchm actually into the team fight.
Whirlwind's going to come out. He's going to chuck one back, but Whalrus seems to be safe. Dives right back in as Thor comes in hot, trying for damage. But it's DaGarz with the turnaround. Finds a big one, but gets picked off. It'll be a 1-for-1.
Shadowq going to be able to sneak out of that one. Team SoloMid doesn't want to keep up the chase, but, you know, Denial, it looked like a good fight for them, but their target prioritization was a little bit off. Everyone was on different targets. BronxBombers could be in a little bit of trouble here. Duels going on, and Bronx.
Oh, that's trouble. Bronx has to go all the way back. He cannot turn to fight these creeps. Or, yeah, look at Snoopy. Knows that he can get in there. Snoopy probably should have baited a little bit harder just by showing, like, oh, I'm probably not going to engage on you. He had the Sunbreaker kill if he wanted it, but he got too aggressive.
With the rotation from Sikandara, though, to the mid camps, he really didn't have vision. It would have been a little bit risky. Snoopy, though, just outboxing Bronx early on. It's so hard to fight into a Hu Yi, especially if you can hit his combo. It's now a 10-second cooldown on Ricochet.
Which is
And Hunter fights usually go about 10 seconds, right? That second stun makes the difference in engagements.
Oh, yeah. And I think the craziest part is, like, you will get 2 stuns. Before, you couldn't do Mark of the Golden Crow ricochet and then get another ricochet off. Even with the 15-second cooldown and the 15-second timer, it just wasn't enough. Now, it's more than enough.
Sikandara going to be doing his own speed for now. Denial, they have the 2 kills. They've got about a 1,000 gold lead so far. They're in control of the game, but it's going to be pretty hard. They're matching up against I'd say, a very hard-to-kill lineup in Team SoloMid. Zhong has a lot of base protections now and health scaling as well with his recent buff, as well as DaGarz on this Fenrir is pretty slippery.
Shadowq trying for something, but it's a 3v2 engage right now until Mace gets here. You see him working his way up. They'll retreat for now. We'll have a 3v3 grouping in the mid lane as per usual, around 6 minutes.
2-man stun, but not going to hit the damage. Just gets the stun off. Mace to the face there.
Sikandara, no, okay. I thought he was leveling Mjolnirs for a second. No, going for Berserker. Still has combo potential, but needs to get pretty much his full kit off to get his damage off. Right side, Whalrus in some trouble, and yeah,
he was dead before Eonic ulted.
I think Eonic helped out, though.
He made it guaranteed. That was definitely a necessary ult from Eonic, but I think bchm would have been able to manage that either way. Jump in, Gar stuns too. That's a lot of damage. Exorcism coming out too. Boosh sends out the demons, but it's not going to be enough damage to kill any player. Eonic rotating back in, but probably not going to make anything happen there. Shadowq gets his ult off and just backs off.
A little surprising that Red would take the better of that, considering we saw the rotation to right. Team SoloMid controls 2 lanes at once, even without the power play in the mid lane.
That was a lot of damage in about a second, and then really it seemed like Team SoloMid didn't have much after that.
Right.
They had the double jump in onto Fenrir, Exorcism comes out, and then there wasn't much after that.
Well, he recalled demons and they took off, right? Had they stuck around and tried to fight, Zhong would have killed all of them.
I wonder if Snoopy has done that bounce before. You see that, where he hit it off the one wall into the other?
Yeah, and then the third hit hits the archers for the clean kill. That's what he's looking for.
He was almost trying to also just poke out as well.
Oh, they're going for it again. Whalrus not in a great spot here. Does have his ultimate available to him, but I assume Whirlwind's coming up soon. Gar's taking a lot of damage, forced to escape.
Oh, bcm's
probably going to die. Yeah.
He got the first half of his jump off, not able to get up the second half, and Whalrus finds that kill. Gold Fury is open, though. We saw Denial send 4 to the right-hand side. Team SoloMid not able to respond.
Mark of the Golden Crow. Dive bombs in. Lacerate's going to be used as well as they're trying to get away. They're going real deep for this. Ricochet. And there's the Sunbreaker. He'll need 3. That's 1. No, not going to find the follow-ups.
Can't find the auto attacks. Big rotation coming in from Sikandara as well. Sikandara has his ult. He doesn't have much mana. Only going to get off 1 round. Can he kill Eonic in time? Doesn't look like it.
Oh, Snoopy. So quick on the draw. Gets up into the air with dive bomb. He's going to get flung back. Mace with the follow-up stun. Zhong is here, but can they keep him alive? Snoopy very low here. They're going to trade out 1 so far. Snoopy's still alive, but no, Shadowq picks him up. Mace to the face. Uses those beads. He's low. Garz is low. Garz gets taken down as well.
Sikandara, ghosts aren't going to be enough to finish him, but a pluck by Shadowq finds BooSh into the tower. He's so tanky, though it's not doing enough. Eonic's around, but there's no way Shadowq's going to be able to pick this up. BooSh is just kind of tanking him. Actually spending quite a long time there. Shadowq actually might be able to find something. Yeah, no. No one's even in the area.
There was possibility if Bronx didn't back that they could have turned that, but no way. Not for that time frame. Whalrus taking a lot of damage, knocked up, forced the Eagles rally. Xing getting a huge advantage in lane so far.
So Xing has been winning this lane. Bellona, Whalrus had that early control, but hasn't really been able to make anything of it since the first 5 levels.
We're seeing a Breastplate of Valor here instead of the Mail of Renewal Wingblade that has been very common on Xing players.
A lot of mobility and utility.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he needs, right? His damage is pretty inherent, so I wonder where he's going to go after this. He's gone full cooldown reduction at this point. Next item, I mean, is it more defense? Is it damage? Does he try to go into a Soul Reaver? I mean,
that also makes it awkward to build into Mail of Renewal if you go Breastplate cooldown boots, right?
Well, you can't.
Then you're overcapping your CDR.
By 15%.
The stat is virtually useless. Even if the passive is incredibly powerful, at that point, you should have just gone Pen Boots if that was your plan.
Yeah, you can't do that. So it's not going to be Mail of Renewal. I'm going to estimate that it's going to be a Spear.
Probably.
It could be Spear or something like Witchblade or Midgardian Mail.
It's also going to combo pretty well with TheBoosh. You can see what he's building into. More than likely, Warlock Sash could also go into the Ethereal Staff, and if he's doing that, he's delaying his penetration. So getting that online onto bchm, who's able to take part in the team fights and get that penetration passive stacked up from the Spear, Boosh is just going to be doing more damage.
So far, Denial's looking strong. They have a pretty large gold lead, but the issue is a lot of that gold lead and a lot of those kills are right now on Sobek. Are we going to see Shadowq transfer this gold into something relevant other than, like, at this point, I don't think he can afford to go full support items. With how much gold he's getting and how much of the gold he's taking with these kills, I think he needs to transfer to a little bit more utility base with things like, maybe not a Gem of Isolation on Sobek, but things of that nature to try to make him a more relevant frontliner instead of going for the cheap effective stats like Sovereignty and Heartward.
Realistically, we're looking at getting max CDR very early on a Sobek, something you typically wouldn't see. Could be the Mail of Renewal if he wants to go into physical protection and doesn't want to go Sovereignty, or the Winged Blade. He's going to be super fast, able to chase players down, and he has enough health to say, Techie, look at this bait, though.
Oh, he goes right into the ultimate.
Timing.
He'll get some damage off this as well, although not very much, used pretty early.
That's a lot into an Athena.
And yeah, I don't think they're going to get too much. The rest of the team is backed out here. They can't get through, and check out bchm going deep on the BronxBombers, who's going to get just absolutely decimated.
Ghoststar chasing out two players, and Shadowq lived for so long. Good stun by Mace to the face.
Oh, but a pickup by DaGarz!
Sikandara, is he going to be able to get the damage off? No, and DaGarz is going to walk out of there. Boosh finds Sikandara, and now the mark is on Whalrus. Nowhere for him to go. He's being chased down.
Bank shot. Bank shot! Got him in the back! Destruction!
Snoopy is so good. Mace to the face. One more hit. Beads, looks like it's
He's going to reach him. He's going to
reach
him.
He
didn't reach him. He's going to reach him!
Got it.
He reached him.
That's the 5th we've seen today. Shadowq coming off a respawn here. Just going to get taunted out by Eonic. Gold Fury started up by Team SoloMid. Shadowq might be able to get into this.
I don't know. He doesn't have his ultimate.
It's on 1200. They don't have enough damage. 3 players pulled off of it. Shadowq is there. Not able to find it. Doesn't even look for the kill onto bchm, though.
The dream starts to dwindle here as Team SoloMid takes the lead. Good shot. One gets back over the wall. And whoo, BronxBombers.
Barely escaping out of that one.
Shadowq once again finds himself in a rather precarious situation, losing about 60% of his health rapid fire.
Can we take a look at the graphs real quick? In the real graphs, thank you. So Denial actually stole away the Gold Fury?
No.
No, they stole it away.
No.
You see that blue?
Yes.
Drop down. Just kidding. I'm reversing my colors. Team SoloMid secures the Gold Fury.
You good?
Moving on. Right now, Denial. 5 kills to 8 on the Team SoloMid side. Awkward. Player damage right now. Shadowq sitting at the top, and yeah, you know, you talked about it. Right now, Shadowq diving super deep, but it's very hard for the rest of Denial to kind of get into the back line.
I mean, we just saw it, right? And it was thanks to Snoopy's awesome Sunbreaker placement that separated Shadowq from the rest of the team. Sikandara didn't commit hard enough to what looked like to be the call. And by the time anyone else got in there, I mean, look what happened to BronxBombers. My man got absolutely bodied once he got sent back into the hell storm that was Team SoloMid's team fight. And by that point, there was just no doing anything. Snoopy had complete control over the entire area. DaGarz, though, with that turnaround ult to rip Sikandara on reaction to the Mjolnir's attunement, like, that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for.
That was phenomenal. Hu Yi, honestly, likely to become a top pick in ban at Super Regional.
He's the best hunter in the game.
He's already starting to be first picked. He's pretty high priority. He is going to be the most sought after god likely at Regionals.
Dude, and
Whalrus taking a lot of poke here.
Whalrus is getting handled by this Xing 10. Uh-oh. Again, Eagle's Rally going to be used in the same place it always is. Now, he's got Heavy Hammer.
I don't know if that's worth.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Xing 10's ult is a 100-second cooldown. Whalrus is significantly lower that, scaling down to 70, I believe, at max rank.
Right, but cooldown boots, Breastplate of Valor.
That's true.
It's absolutely worth.
That's true.
He's forcing him to go into things like beads, use the teleport more often.
He's getting 40 seconds off that ultimate.
It's actually kind of nuts.
60-second ultimate now from Xing 10.
And why not do it once a minute, right? Keep him on his toes. And, I mean, look at the build right now from Whalrus. I don't know why he didn't finish the Silver Talisman. This is not the Smite of old where Silver Talisman is one of the most highly statted items in the game for its cost. This item is... Can we actually hover, Zayden, over the Silver Talisman? This item barely gives you anything anymore. I mean, it's 45 magic protection, 125 health. It's good. But
I
you're
believe
paying a lot for
the
it.
cost was increased by about 150 gold, which before when you only had to invest like 400 or 500 into it, it was super efficient. But now that it's like 600-700 for rank 2, it's just not worth as much.
Not at all. So it's strange to me to see him rush down into this Frostbound. While I love Frostbound, a lot of the damage that he's taking isn't like auto attacks. Like bcm's not trying to box him. He's just throwing Hadoukens at him and dipping.
3 members grouped up on both teams here in the mid lane. Whalrus continuing to get handled in this solo. I mean, bcm, oh, no Eagles Rally. No, it is available, but Whalrus not going to have to use it.
He's going to have to use it now. He has to use it now. Athena's going to come in.
Through, though.
Oh, yeah, this is a big deal. Nice. Good use of beads there. Keeps him out of danger. But that's a 3 minutes beads cost. Sunbreaker not going to be effective this time. DaGarz trying to find a way in, but we have no whirlwind this time.
bcm with the rotation, not able to find anything. Eonic's here as well. Actually, oh, look at this. I don't think Denial know Eonic was in the right side. I almost thought Eonic was going to come under them and look for a big taunt, but nothing going to come of it.
Diving in once again. DaGarz might be in trouble. Absolutely decimated once again. That was a perfect combination. And DaGarz, he did use beads, but not quickly enough.
That's not the worst for him. He has Teleport 1. It is available to be used. I feel like we're going to see him going to Mail of Renewal after this. Sikandara continuing to be aggressive, looking to steal away the attack speed buff. Snoopy looking for a bank shot to try and defend. Not in time, and he's going to be forced out. Denial. They walk away with that attack speed, and right now the game is dead even. Both teams at about 3,700. Team SoloMid lagging about 700 behind.
Yeah, this is a really, really close game so far.
Look at that damage.
But again, I'm worried about Denial's chances, given the fact that a lot of their gold lead is on this Guardian, right? Like, and Shadowq so far has gone into the same things that we would normally see him go into. He hasn't made any transition that a support might make when they have a lead like that. Like we normally see Incon change it up a little bit, right?
We see the early Heavenly come up from him, and that's really been it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we actually see Eonic has gone into an early shell, so virtually even in that regards.
We have a beads coming out from Sobek as well. I don't think that'll come back to haunt him.
No.
Right? But, I mean, if you're in the lead as a support and you can get those items on, should you need those beads?
I mean, we really haven't seen Shadowq in a position where he's needed the beads so far. He's actually been very quick to time his ultimate to get away from any sun that Team SoloMid has thrown at him for the most part here. It'll be interesting if this investment will really not be needed for a while. Late game, there is a lot of control on Team SoloMid, though.
Rushing into mid lane here. No, I thought they were going to go for it. Mace seems unimpressed with the choice to run away. He'll get a small stun, a little bit of damage onto Eonic.
Dashes out real fast, recognizing Eonic could taunt him pretty easily. Mace got a very early beats 3. Same with Sikandara. Denial investing pretty heavily into anti-CC. Gold Fury, it's spawned, and Shadowq taking half, just trying to get some counter wards out.
I hear that jump going off. Whalrus. No matter where this guy runs, he's always taking damage. Eagles rally in place. They're trying to set it up. DaGarz, very low already. Perfect CC chain, but it's not enough to take the dog down with that shell active. Now it's going to be TSM diving to the back line as Whalrus becomes the focus of all the Team SoloMid's ire.
Sikandara comes crashing down, looking for Eonic. Shadowq finds a nice pluck. BronxBombers. It's going to be Sikandara to find that kill, and BooSh and Snoopy, they're standing tall. 1 member down for both teams. Eonic for Whalrus. Team SoloMid taking that trade any day of the week, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably be happy about that.
Up.
I'd be very happy. Nice triple bounce, almost finding the shot. BronxBombers throws the Viper as a warning, but they could be in trouble here on the side of Denial as Mace is spotted backing. They know that he's in a weakened position, and they're going to go right for the Gold Fury. Force Mace to stay. This is a bad spot for Denial. They have to make the play here.
bcm just zoning out Sikandara, but Shadowq's actually snuck out behind him. DaGarz moving to play zone as well. Gold Fury, it's under half, and DaGarz, he's going for the kill. Shadowq caught in. Eonic's going to come crashing down. Sikandara does find a kill, but that's not enough. 1-for-1 trade. Gold Fury was reset, however.
Yeah, this time they trade out the other solo laner for the other support, so it winds up being an even trade throughout, but now the Gold Fury can't be started. They know that Whalrus
DaGarz
is
is
coming.
level 12?
Yeah.
What has been happening? He has
he's
been getting bullied.
He's been fighting a lot. He just hit 13. He's always getting picked off first in the fights. He's got that breastplate online, but I mean, he's going to need more than, what is it, 20 defense?
He's going into Mail of Renewal, but I mean, that's only giving him 40 protections and 250 health. Sikandara going real deep. Actually looking to catch out GaRz, doing his own jungle. Beads are forced onto the guards.
Oh, missed
GaRz
it.
jumps in place, but Team SoloMid, they're looking for Sikandara. The stun coming through, and he's not going to fall.
Mace with the big save here. Eonic, though, continuing the pressure forward. I don't know how long that's going to be able to go for. It looks like Eonic's just going to try to play the bait. Whalrus over on the right side.
Teleport.
He does not have teleport, which means Gold Fury will be a power play.
Shadowq, he's actually already used his pluck on the minimap. He's looking to try and get into this. Team SoloMid, they're going to fall off of the Gold Fury. Look at focusing out Shadowq, already under half. Shadowq, he wants to get some damage, but actually pops the ultimate early, forcing Team SoloMid back. Whalrus making his rotation now, but bicm's already here.
It's another Sentry Ward win for TSM. Mace trying to control the area. They don't know if they're doing it, but they will know now as the members of TSM retreat to the mid lane to push the wave.
bcm just super tanky, health alone right there, taking a full flame wave from Mace and kind of just tickling him. He also has his the HP 5, going to be able to heal most of that back up quickly.
Well, Denial still in a decent lead here. Let's go to the grass. It was a very long engagement, but they still hold the lead. And a lot of this right now is going to be between the junglers. You'll notice that GaRz about 3 levels behind Sikandara at this stage, despite some rather impressive plays, has been dying too much in team fights, being forced out too much, and Sikandara barely getting to escape from a lot of these, I guess, advantageous fights for Denial means that he's getting this extra experience.
Ward Vision right now in control, or Team SoloMid in control of the Ward Vision on this Gold Fury, like they've been most of the game. BronxBombers right now, it's not that he's had a bad game, but Snoopy has played phenomenal so far. Not only his Sunbreaker placements, but just the bank shots off the wall, finding these targets and finding these shots that, you know, many players struggle with trying to set up an aim. Snoopy just hits them on command.
Shadowq going for the pluck here. A little bit strange. No follow-up from BronxBombers available. Viper shot used, but honestly not going to get much out of it. And a steal from Whalrus. He's going to have to use Eagles Rally to get out of this one.
Oh, wow. I'm a little bit surprised here that he went so aggressive. Eagles Rally over the wall. GaRz going to chase him. Nice stun from Mace to keep GaRz in place. Whalrus still trying to get out. Sikandara actually coming crashing down onto 4. GaRz super low. There's the whirlwind, though. Can Team SoloMid turn this onto Shadowq?
Now, I don't know, man. Boosh in the front line, not in a great position. Shadowq ult's going to miss, but BronxBombers finds his target. GaRz going to go down as well in the back line. A 2 for 0 as Denial's going to try to push in for an objective.
At the very least, they're going to go for gold. Whalrus already starting to heal up off of that one. Shadowq sitting in the mid lane doing creeps here. I don't know if he's just trying to distract all of Team SoloMid, but I mean, Denial right now,
they're not going to rotate. There's no reason to rotate. They will lose that fight handedly. Denial has controlled it, and Mace's stuns have been beautiful throughout this game.
Phenomenal.
And, I mean, we see that GaRz gets the bite. As soon as the bite is activated, we get the beads immediately from Whalrus to get him out of the Ragnarok form, and then Mace comes in with the super hot stun, making sure that he gets locked down in place again. GaRz gets burned down immediately and remains massively behind. Still 3 levels and now a 2,000 gold difference between him and the homie.
And Sikandara found a 4-man ultimate in that mid lane. All of Team SoloMid grouped up trying to lock down Whalrus. The bait was so good from their team. Now with that Gold Fury in hand, Denial Esports extended their lead to about 4,000. Whalrus right now level 19, found a slight lead against bcm finally, although still 1-4-3. Some big items starting to come out here. GaRz just about to finish his Mail of Renewal. bcm still working on, it seems, a magical defense item. Across the board, though, Team SoloMid just a little bit behind.
I mean, at this point, it's going to be so hard for GaRz to come back into this because Sikandara is going to be at least a full Mace item ahead, probably Brawler's Beatstick at this stage. I mean, he's going to be that far ahead. Look at the combo, too.
We've seen that all game. GaRz walks into one spot out of place. BooSh flung back into the team. BooSh might look like he wants to tournament. His ultimate is available, but just going to take a lot of poke, and that's 2 players from Team SoloMid forced out. Sikandara, though, might get caught out by bcm. No, it's Shadowq flung into the rest of Team SoloMid, and Team SoloMid, they just can't spend all that onto Shadow.
Sikandara trying to take to the sky. Does he have enough time? Yes, but he is carded. I don't know if he's going to have enough health. It looks like
red.
Yeah, he will be fine. and just barely. Snoopy in trouble here, and he's going to get outboxed 1-1. BronxBombers finds the solo kill and the activation of the Athena ult. Great play.
That right there was Executioner online. Snoopy had not had that item completed, just finished it, had the gold in hand, unfortunately didn't have it spent, and he lost that, likely to lose his tower as well. Shadowq just missing the pluck, looking to try and pick off bchm, but Bronx is rotated as well, not focusing on the tower. Looks like Denial, they want to force a fight, they want TSM to go in on them.
Red buff going to be stolen. All 5 members of Denial right here are just locking down this jungle. Shadowq in the front line having no problem pushing out 3. BronxBombers, however, having some trouble pushing out 1. Will force the rotation as bchm gets the better of them.
I'm real surprised. Denial just seems to be going in one at a time, but they might find a nice bait here. DaGarz ultimate is forced, and he's low. He's asked it back once again. DaGarz is just getting pressured out before the fights even start. Denial, I mean, they're in control of this game.
I mean, look at the EXP per minute. I mean, despite the fact that bchm was pretty far ahead for a long time, Whalrus has fought his way back on top overall. Was the first level 20 right in front of BronxBombers. We have Sikandara at 18 right now, Mace at 17. DaGarz, though, riding the bottom, a level below the support.
Sikandara takes to the sky. He's looking for the back line, comes crashing down on bchm, but caught in the whirlwind, and now bcm's forced out, but it's Whalrus going in deep. Bronx finds Eonic. Shadowq, he's under the water. He's got a pop on the
no! No, not like this. You never want to see that many people get stunned by Medusa. DaGarz trying to fight back, but that's such a big win. BronxBombers going to find too much damage for them to deal with on the side of TSM, and the black and white turns black as red as just everyone but bchm falls, and they're not even done yet. They're still going at him.
There's nowhere for bchm to go, and no mana online. Shadowq finds that kill. Denial find a deicide, a tier 1 tower, a tier 2 tower, and are in full control of this game now, extending their lead to 9,000, and it seems that they're not done yet. They're going for a Phoenix, electing to back, though. I think Fire Giant's their next target.
I'm very surprised to see them take the back there. Phoenix was pretty much wide open. Granted, if they had lost the Phoenix fight or not killed it fast enough, there was a possibility that it could have been turned, but honestly, I didn't see that happening. But they're going to take the safe route. Denial finds now a 10,000 gold lead. They want to use it smartly, and with so much on the line. I mean, their chance at Worlds dies with this set if they don't win both games.
So enemy beating COG 2-0 is, I could see that. I think everyone could see it. I could see that set going either way.
They just did it to Eager.
I know. Denial, however, beating Team SoloMid, that was the outlier for me. And right now, game 1, it is their game to drop at this point.
Now tell me, if Denial beats TSM 2-0,
yes,
and COG loses 2-0, does Denial automatically go?
It's a tiebreaker.
But it's a tiebreaker.
There will be a tiebreaker final match between Denial and
Best of
COG.
3 or best of 1?
It's best of 1.
Ooh,
when it comes down to land, you've had all 10 weeks to qualify.
I think I'm rooting now.
You're rooting?
I think I'm rooting. I didn't know it was a best of 1. That's hype. I think I'm rooting now.
You want it to happen?
I kind of want that to happen.
I mean, that's like Myrmidon's dig, right? Everyone wants Miriam to win game 1. Then it comes down to
it's just the best
winner, you're in.
Winning, you're in. Love it. 28 minutes here. The boys in blue find the goal, Fury. This is going to be another 1,750 gold added to the pockets as Denial extends their lead drastically. And at this point, I just don't know what TSM does to fight back.
They're going to have to fight under towers, under Phoenixes. They still have really strong AoE team composition here. They have the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel. They have the Boosh's Demon Bag. And on top of that, they have the Suns from Snoopy. The question is Denial going to sit there and stand in all those AoE circles, or are they going to disengage and then look to re-engage afterwards?
I think it'd be smart of Denial not to go for the Fire Giant. They have such an intense lead at this stage that they should be using it strictly to push objectives, just towers, Phoenixes. Make sure they're fighting off over one neutral objective, and they're not going to put themselves in a position of weakness.
bchm teleports in there. Sikandara going to wave to Eonic in the jungle in the meantime. TSM, though, have forced Denial off of that tier 2 tower on right, and it seems like Denial are just looking for picks in the jungle. They want Team SoloMid to get caught rotating more than anything, it looks like.
Mid lane getting pressured. Sikandara going to find a decent
poke.
shot onto DaGarz. Man, DaGarz is really far down. There's a 3,700 gold difference between the two junglers.
It is almost 30 minutes in, and he's only level 15. He is 3 levels below Shadowq's Sobek.
I think this is the lowest we have ever seen DaGarz, ever.
Probably. This far behind in the game?
I don't think this has ever happened before.
No.
Denial must be very excited about that.
I think they are. I think Sikandara is having a pretty happy time right now. Denial, they seem scared to commit to anything, especially with Eonic having that taunt, and Eonic actually going to be looking for a Whalrus. That's a big taunt spent into a pretty tanky frontliner, but
Shadowq took a lot of damage.
Yeah, Denial scared to commit, it seems, and they're going to be backing off of here. Actually, they're walking straight into the Fire Giant pit. Heavenly popped on both sides.
Wait, they're trying to get out here. The boys in red right now are looking pretty strong. They have complete control over the right side jungle, and I don't know if they have enough on the side of Denial to contest a consistent push.
They're backing out there. Shadowq was poked to under half, although he should be able to tick up nicely.
Ultimate's still available.
Shadowq's backing on a ward.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to take the opportunity here. Sikandara is still healthy. Whalrus is back with full health.
Counter ward coming out. Whalrus will grab 50 gold there into his own pocket. A crit starting to come online for both hunters. Rage has been completed for BronxBombers. Snoopy just starting his own Rage Blade. Pretty far behind right now. And not only that, but can we take a look at gold in hand? BronxBombers only needs about 1,400 more gold to finish off his Deathbringer.
Wait, no. He needs 600 gold. 700 gold.
It's close. It's close.
Yeah, he's got a tier 2.
Ah, okay.
700. He already has like 950 right now. He's actually about 600. He's clearing those waves. He's almost there, and I think that's what they're going to wait for. You know, once he gets that Deathbringer online, his damage increases dramatically.
Okay, 600 more than he currently has. I meant like total.
Oh,
I was like so confused. I'm like, no.
1650, yeah.
Yeah, rank 3 is worth a little bit more than that. Snoopy actually might be able to pick Whalrus here. Look at this. Denial already on the rotation. Whalrus taking a little bit of poke from Pick'em and Snoopy in the meantime, but Shadowq and Mace, their presence in the jungle going to scare some of Team SoloMid off of that fight.
Trouble over here. Whalrus is getting pretty low. He still has his Eagles rally for the counter initiate. Shadowq in so much trouble, but the whirlwind was wasted. Heavenly Agility gets popped to stop the rush down. Eonic going to get stunned as well.
We just saw this. We just saw this same story.
Yeah, no. We rewound. You didn't see
like
this
2
rewind?
minutes ago. Oh, okay.
You were looking at me.
I mean,
stop looking at me.
I just can't help it, Brandon.
I'm not a rapper.
Can't help it. Speed buff could be taken by Sikandara, and honestly, the longer this goes on, the better for Team SoloMid. The later into the game they go, the more that 10,000 gold lead isn't as much. Actually, 12,000 now with the extra camps that Denial has been in control of. But for now, it's really DaGarz is just catching up to Sikandara more than anything.
That's true. But Mace still not level 20. They do want to get that online. Shadowq about to hit it as well, I assume.
Deathbringer finish for BronxBombers.
That things change when Deathbringer comes online. And look at Snoopy. Snoopy also about 3,000. He's actually a Deathbringer behind at this stage. He probably should sell that Death Toll as soon as possible and get that Rage finish because they're going to need him.
Player damage, though, all topped right now by Team SoloMid. Bickham with 24,000. All of that poke damage onto Whalrus early on. 22,000 from TheBoosh. And then Snoopy sitting at 19,000. BronxBombers hasn't really been poking too many people.
Whalrus taking some damage, but forcing him back. I feel like we've seen this
story before.
Oh, bank shot. Not going to find it that time. Sikandara not able to answer either.
Oh, look at this rotation. Mace and Shadowq, once again, they've just been patrolling this jungle. And now it seems Shadowq not going to find the pluck.
Okay.
There's the taunt.
Card doesn't hit, though. Taunt does.
Double Heavenly.
They're trying for this. Oh, Shield of the Underworld getting popped a little bit early. Bickham, notably, very low in health. Not a lot of mana either. Extending engagements could hurt him, but he does have teleport. Shouldn't be troubled.
So, as this has been going on, Mace actually has not been farming at all. He's kind of just been patrolling the jungle more than anything. He really needs to get that Rod of Duty online, but he's actually almost fallen behind to TheBoosh in gold. He's only 500 ahead of him.
Does DaGarz have a balanced blade when he's 4 levels behind?
He's going to auto-attack Executioner.
He's not going to auto-attack.
It's going to be hard for him to get in there.
I mean, every time he has attempted to be near another person, he's died, or almost died.
It's not only that, but you actually take a look at Denial's team composition. These gods are not gods that it's very easy to auto-attack against. Whalrus, he's going to out-trade DaGarz more than likely. He also has blocks in his kit. Sikandara can just teleport away. Same with BronxBombers. Mace to the face, though.
See right there, like he took half his health from being anywhere near it. We're going to see Thor take to the sky. He's going to get picked up, beads out, and it's going to be Heavenly versus Heavenly here as the Sunbreaker comes out.
The wall, though, actually splitting Team SoloMid's team composition. Shadowq thrown into place, but it's actually going to be TheBoosh and bchm in a lot of trouble. bchm thrown back into Nile. He's trying to jump out, but he's going to run straight into Whalrus here. Now it's TheBoosh. He's the target. Demons are released. Eonic charging the ult on top, but Denial, they're running away from this engagement instead of just blowing up TheBoosh. That actually could spell the end for them. 1-for-1 trade as Mace finds TheBoosh. GaRz is teleported.
You better hope those auto attacks work out here. Somehow Sikandara has got to get away from this. Aegis was good, blocked out a lot of CC, but I don't see him going anywhere. Somehow TSM is turning this one around. They're going to wind up getting a deicide off this. Oh my god, there's no way for Whalrus to get away. He's going to be taken down, and now it's just Shadowq, and all they've traded out was TheBoosh.
I have no idea how that happened. 4 dead.
I do.
On the side of Denial. It really just seemed that Denial was scared to commit.
That was the Season 1 Ares effect. The chains came out, and instead of just killing Ares, everyone ran away.
They could have blown up TheBoosh.
He should have
left him.
Right. They were like, oh my god, we need to get out of the range of these ghosts. But they never actually did. They just stood in mid-range, took a ridiculous amount of damage, and now TSM has the Fire Giants?
They're still down 12,000 in gold. Fire Giant in hand, able to nearly deicide Denial, and now they're going to start knocking down these towers. Mid-tier 1 is the first victim. Gold Fury up as well. We could see them start to look into that, and that's what it looks like is going to happen. Snoopy, Eonic, and bchm making their way to the Gold Fury. They're going to start chipping away at Denial's lead.
GaRz should be able to get himself a tier 1 on the right as well. So not a massive gain in gold throughout, especially after losing all of their towers, but it's enough to keep them afloat for now. Denial must wait out another 3 minutes and 20 seconds of Fire Giant mayhem, and if they can, they will be able to bring this back. But for right now, I think the control is in favor of TSM.
The question is, what is Team SoloMid going to do? Are they going to start barging down the towers, or are they really just going to focus on farming, getting Snoopy's crit online, getting GaRz back into the game? Actually, GaRz,
hey, pick that up.
Level 15 or 16?
Snoopy, pick that up. What? Why? Is he going to get speed buff? Why didn't he pick that up?
I'm not answering that because I don't know. I guarantee you he thought he was on it, didn't notice,
or
started the back and was looking at his
maybe
sword.
He wanted to kill it, back with the gold, and then rush back to get it to have the longest uptime possible?
Yes, that's actually
And
exactly
he did it. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Snoopy is a genius enough to know that that would work.
Oh, he's done that a million times. He knew exactly how fast he would be and how long that buff would be up.
Wow.
That's why he recognized that Shadowq did not have his pluck.
By the way,
noticed the damage or the healing from
GaRz is level 20 now.
I know. That's what I was saying.
When the hell did that
He was like
happen?
level 15 or 16 when that engagement first started.
He had 4 levels in that engagement.
He was able to find a couple kills, all the assists on the kills he didn't secure.
And about 1,800 gold as well to catch up to Sikandara, who is not finished his build yet. Realistically, GaRz at this point is not too far behind anymore. And with the help of the Fire Giant, he's technically ahead.
He's 1 item behind, right?
No, not even. I mean, he's with the Fire Giant damage, he's ahead.
Oh, easily. Tier 2. Going to be pressured by Team SoloMid here. Denial. The question is, do they want to defend into this Fire Giant? I mean, they couldn't even fight a team without Fire Giant, and since then, Team SoloMid has caught up. Snoopy taking a little bit of poke, but still focusing on that tower.
Oh, able to get out of there. Bede's going to be good. Whalrus diving into too many, and there was no way to follow up. Eagles Rally effectively wasted. A good ult by BronxBombers gets answered back by a good rush in from GaRz. So far, neither team taking a good rush. Oh, that was a bad Sunbreaker turn. Great by Eonic's taunt, and Denial are the ones forced to escape.
They're forced out there, and Team SoloMid, they're going to just be able to heal up. The health percentage region on that Fire Giant buff being super useful. Now they're going to turn their attention to that Tier 2 tower. The lead, it was 12,000 in favor of Denial. Now only 7,000, and soon to be reduced by another 1,500.
But only a minute left, not even 55 seconds left on this Fire Giant buff, and they still have a lot of ground to make up. GaRz in some trouble. He jumps out.
Big crit.
Wait, Sikandara going to try for this? Misses.
Does he have beads online based on the backup? It looks like he does. He has both his actives online. He's going on to DaGarz, but it's TheBoosh or bchm in the back line being chased down. One more hit. Bronx finds that kill. Sikandara can lock down GaRz in the back. Boosh, now you need to just target him out. Denial this time does not let TheBoosh run around untouched. He falls. Sikandara getting chased out, but actually might have slowed down Eonic and Snoopy. No, Eonic and Snoopy going to be able to walk out of that one, but Denial, they find 3 kills. Fire Giant not spawning for another minute.
This should be the end. This should be Denial's game now. They had a good team fight there. They've earned a lot of their gold back. They just need to get in there as fast as possible. No waiting for creeps, just go.
They're trying. Mid, Phoenix going to be pressured out. No one spawning on the side of Team SoloMid for 30 seconds. Only Eonic and Snoopy left alive. The question is, Denial, are they going to play it safe and go for all the Phoenixes? That's what it looks like. They don't want to dive in just yet.
Are you serious? And Sikandara is in the mid lane right now? What's happening? Just end the game.
Snoopy has a lot of damage. Deathbringer's not online, but Denial, they're going to play it safe. They're going to take all the Phoenixes, though. Make sure that Team SoloMid's pressured out.
Eonic, not going to go in there. They're going to watch all 3 of the Firebirds fall down.
Giving Team SoloMid at least a little bit
I
of
can't believe they didn't try to defend that with how long it took them to kill it. So Denial's now in the best position possible. Having 3 Phoenixes down, the only thing that makes this better is getting a Fire Giant. And at this point, they're going to have to defend so many Fire minions on the side of TSM that there's no way they can even make the defense.
DaGarz right now, 9,000 damage 40 minutes into the game. He has not really been able to do much. At this point, he's kind of a control bot, right? Stacking up his passive, jumping and stunning people, and then ripping them away with Ragnarok. Denial right now have regained their 12,000 gold lead, it seems. Fire Giant likely to be the next contested objective, but I don't see Team SoloMid going to be able to get in there.
It was close, right? The comeback was great, but Denial's fight in that last engagement was as close to perfect as possible. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that DaGarz has gone into too much damage and not enough defense. He needed a little bit more. They have this hybrid comp that should have been protecting Snoopy, and instead he was looking for big kills, and he gets picked off as a result.
Whalrus, you're going to be playing zone, and Team SoloMid, they're not even going to come close to this. Fire Giant going to be taken by Denial, and now it's kind of just the end of it all. Team SoloMid, they're going to have to defend 3 Phoenixes.
Quick pause coming out. 1 of 6. Denial in a good spot so far.
A little bit worried about them in that fight in the right-hand side lane. They seemed very scared of the DaBoosh's ultimate, but you saw it there that second time. They made sure to lock him down, not just immediately run away. The DaBoosh is tanky, but he's not invincible. Right,
exactly. And I think that's might have what caught them off guard before. They thought he was a little bit tankier than he was. In fact, you look at the player damage, right? He's right near the top. It's him and Xing Chen. It's been these hybrids that have wound up on top.
Can we actually highlight the DaBoosh real quick? He should actually, we might have a fight.
Oh, no, yeah. Right side, I think them being out of position is going to wind up being a throw here.
Oh, Eonic, he's caught out. Stunned out as well. Whalrus over the top. Eagles rally.
Yeah, why
probably not needed there, but just to make sure Eonic had nowhere to go. That's 1 player down for Team SoloMid. 4 left alive. Fire minions now pushing up all 3 waves. It's not pushed back at all. Team SoloMid are going to be fighting into 5 players with Fire Giant and 3 waves of Fire minions.
Boosh does a lot of damage, but he doesn't do that much damage.
Oh, bchm. bcham's caught out. His dash is down.
Shield of the Underworld. Either. Not going to do much. He's throwing the support back to really where he wants to be.
That was just so he could get out.
Honestly, I think this one's it. Nice ultimate from Snoopy. Not going to do too much. Beautiful ult by Bron. Oh, that was quick.
That was, I mean, that's damage, right?
Jeez. Denial. Keeping the dream alive for now. Finds their first game. They're going to need another one.
They're going to need 3 more.
They're going to need 3 more.
They need that to go their way, but you're right. For right now, they're able to find that 1 game. Looking for game 2. That game, though, really, what are you attributing it to?
I mean, a lot of it had to do with DaGarz and Sikandara. DaGarz was way too far behind. The build wasn't optimal because he went into too much damage when he was behind and never really caught back up. He had 1 good fight, but I think it was more attributed to the teleport than it was the build itself. They get a really good win thanks to the fact that they didn't commit hard enough to DaBoosh. They got a lot of kills early on the side of Denial for that early win and good farm, but they got to do it again.
A lot of the early kills coming from Shadowq, though. We actually just saw him in that First Blood replay there, able to lock down Eonic, and really, he was kind of just roaming everywhere. Phenomenal performance from him, actually able to secure player of the game. Missed some plucks late game, but early game, he was on point.
Snoopy right here, you can see him, he's like, I could try to do some damage. A little bit early on the cancel, but still picks it up with the auto attack and then runs right back to the front line. It'll be a quick trade, but he picks up DaGarz and then is able to control DaBoosh long enough to make sure that everyone gets back out of there.
This is where he fought the DaBoosh for 5 minutes and didn't kill him. But he fought him, right?
Yeah, and I was surprised, this is where Thor backed, and I'm not really sure why. If Thor had came in and stunned and threw a hammer, it probably would have been a kill. But look at this, basically invincible.
Same with DaGarz, though. DaGarz was pretty tanky, especially at the end of that game there. 3,600 health, and still, though, all it takes is one pluck from Sobek, puts him out of position, and then he gets blown up.
Even that tail whip at the end, he's like, I need to make sure he dies.
Yes.
Right? The one person that seems he wasn't phased by Zhong. But again, Denial, to get to LAN, they must not only win that game, they must win the next, and tomorrow, COG must fall 0-2 to Enemy. They have one more game to go. As we get into the game, we'll check out the Alpha Draft top performers from the first game.
Likely to mostly be Denial, although we could see someone slip on there. Yeah, TheBoosh actually able to slip on there in that number 5 position. All of Denial really played phenomenally. Really, the only player I would say that was lacking in that game was DaGarz. He got so far behind for whatever. It really just seemed to be the fact that he kept fighting like he was even.
Right.
And then every time he would just like go into a fight, maybe get an assist, and then die.
I feel like DaGarz actually doesn't get a lot of practice on being behind.
Probably not. He's probably ahead in almost every single game they
Exactly.
play.
You know, in the previous LANs, when they were, hardcore scrimming with C9 like all the time, no matter if it was Season 1 or Season 2, if TSM or the COG Red roster, whatever, if they lost 2 games in a row, scrims were like done for the night. They just like tilted and like, we don't want to play anymore. Because like